Okay, guys, welcome team. I'm gonna I'll welcome you all firstly to the first ever Q&A from the My Bootcamp Nutrition and Training System. As I've just literally discussed with some of you, have been waiting for 10 minutes. This week we're going to focus on understanding your macros, proteins, fats, and carbohydrates, and how to fuel your body properly for strength and fat loss. I've seen some great conversation this week in a couple of groups, not so much the inner circle, but we're going to change that after the day and get you a little bit more, guys, putting things on your chat group. So we've got more going on. So keep up the good work so far. Just a quick recap, boys and girls, actually all girls on the call, for the recap on week one. Just to summarize, this week's takeaway when I sent them out on the Inner Circle group this week, you should all download your sheets there. So it's more or less about protein. So the idea, guys, is we're going to get you eventually aiming at 1 gram per pound of body weight you weigh. And the best sources I've sort of suggested, firstly, are grass-fed beef or beef, organ meat, chicken, poultry, eggs, all sort of meats, and wild caught fish as well. I'm going to break down, we're going to discuss a bit more of this in a bit with your fats. So a lot of people get scared and stay away from fats and go more down a low fat diet plan. We're going to be educating you guys into why this isn't necessarily the best way going forward in the next 5 to 6 weeks. But with your fats, we want to keep it your percentage of fats to about 35% of your daily calories, and they should come from quality sources like butter, tallow, egg yolks, and literally fatty cuts of meat. So we're going to be educating you on don't be scared of fat, pretty much. Okay, it's what we've kind of been misunderstood to believe over the decades. And also carbohydrates, where we're going to be using a flexible based approach for your energy needs. So we're going to be prioritizing wholesome foods such as sweet potatoes, berries, and white rice. So we're going to discuss more of that in a group after that. Some of the questions I've had in the week are: question one, how do I get enough protein without feeling full all of the time? Which is a great question. Can you eat dairy products, which we're going to cover? And what is the best way to cook meats? Now, this is actually a bit of a one-to-one client. I'm going to discuss that because they're not even on the call either, which is organ meats. Well, I'm going to cover that very quickly from the pre-question. So you guys all get the ability in the week to put questions in for the following week or even on the call. So question one I'm going to cover very briefly is: how do I get enough protein without feeling full all the time? So this is a great question. It's one we get a lot when people join on to the 6-week challenge, or I take on solely. So especially in week one, when we're dialing into the fundamentals, this is a good question. So simply, number one, space it out across your eating window. Don't try and slam 150 grams of protein in one meal. All right. Try and space it out. Aim for about 30, 50 grams per meal. Spread it over 2 or 3 meals over the space of the day. Okay. To be honest, I always sort of find is if you miss it at your first meal, it's hard to get it later on in the day. So what I'm going to suggest here, start with lighter digestion proteins so much earlier in the day. If you're having an early breakfast, so you're going to push it till midday perhaps, which the likes of eggs, full fat Greek yogurt, which we'll come on to in a bit, or if you're struggling, even a whey protein. Save all the heavier meats like steak, chicken thigh, not so much chicken, but red meats for later in the day. All right. Cook. Also, this is a good one, guys. I get a lot of my clients to do is cook leaner cuts of meat slower. So slow cook your beef, shredded chicken in a slow cooker while you're at work. These are also easier to chew and digest, and they don't feel quite dense as well as some grilled cut meats. Uh, what you want to do is cook leaner cuts of no, I've just covered that. So proteins, guys, whey proteins. This is also a question we get a lot. Many years I've spent on a lot of protein supplements and all kind of supplements. There's a time and place. I'm going to suggest eat wholesome foods, whole foods. I know a lot of people do kind of live and swear by them. There's a time and place. I'd solely say I haven't actually touched a protein shake, I don't know, for 10 months or such, and my body responds better, but everyone's individually different, which I'm going to come on to for the next question as well. So protein shakes, if you can't eat wholesome foods, guys, a protein shake does have its time and place. We're going to come on to that into the next question, and then I'm going to open up the gallery to have a conversation with you guys and find out your experiences with them. So if you are struggling with a protein shake, just make sure they're high in whey isolates or even a collagen protein from there. So also, guys, on this one, to wrap this one question up, is remember, fullness is part of the adaptational phase. All right. So when you start eating protein, you're going to be like, oh, I can't have much more. This is your body adjusting as you shift away from pretty much ultra processed foods and carbs that leave you literally hungry 30 minutes later. All right. The next question is, can I eat dairy products? So, depends. Yes, with a few guidelines. And this was probably a lesson I learned even in working in industry and having qualification in nutrition. So dairy can be a part of your plan. It's pretty much on any sort of animal spectrum plan, especially fermented or even full fat forms like Greek yogurt, raw cheese, or what's the other one? Kefir. I can't even pronounce it. I should know that. Kefir. I'll ask you guys in a bit, all right? But these work very well. I'd really suggest, and I've really been dialing into a lot of my clients, especially in the last year, choosing full fat. This can be scary for people, but when you start seeing the results, you won't go backwards. These contain low ingredients, which is minimal process options. The fewer the additives, the better on your body, all right? And the easier you'll start getting results. It's just taking that leap of faith. Some people also don't tolerate dairy products well either. If that is you, just try, because personally, it's me. I've got a lot of bloating. Results slowed down for me. I love dairy, but doesn't sometimes agree with me. But what I found was getting aged cheese. I always sort of tend to get really older cheese. It's mature cheese. You can get this from any supermarket as well. Because over time with the cheese, it ages, the lactose lowers a lot, which is very effective. All right. So Parmesan cheese is very good. All right. If so, guys, you can also have, not my particular favorite, but I know sheep or even goat's milk products. Actually, goat's cheese in salads is very good. Just look out for lactose-free options on this, but it's more or less is what I suggest is, guys, go by how you feel, because everyone is going to be different here. Not one fits all. You kind of got to monitor what we'll be doing over the next even 3 to 6 to 19, 12 weeks. You'll be dining in and knowing you won't need a food intolerance test because you're going to get to know your body better. Monitor digestion, guys, bloating or even breakouts. If you're getting breakouts, having whey protein, that is your body telling you stop. All right, we're going to come to that in a bit as well. If you feel off, reduce sluggishness, food is supposed to keep you upbeat, energized. If you're eating food and you're suddenly having to get sluggish within 20 minutes to 15 minutes, that's your body pretty much telling you it's not responding with you that well. All right. So reduce it, cut it out for a week, and then reassess it as you learn things throughout this process. So the short answer ladies, is yes, but quality and tolerance matters as well. Now, the last question is, what's the best way to cook meat? Now, to be honest, guys, this is kind of more of one I had from a client. Shouldn't have put this in, but it's more or less is what's the best way to cook organ meat if you don't like the taste. To be honest, I don't particularly like organ meats. I rarely have it these days, but if it does have contained a lot of minerals and a lot of well, vitamins, minerals, and very good for the body. And actually, it's quite cheap as well. So this one is common. I do get it a bit. Liver isn't everyone's favorite. It's a very old-fashioned thing. So you can hide it in food, blend it into mince, liver with beef. You make beef burgers with liver blended into it. That works. Even meatballs, you can do Italian dishes with meatballs. A new small portion, even 50 grams of liver mixed with like 200 grams of minced beef. That'd be how much I have my burgers. Still gives you a powerful nutritional punch. It will literally give you so many superfood benefits from there. All right, and you only need to do that a couple times a week. But if you don't like liver, I actually just got a thing. I actually have some. I don't really take that many supplements these days, but I do sometimes take just once or twice a week liver capsules. More or less is they're just organic supplements. It just helps with the taste barrier. You can even go to your butchers and get some organ meats. You can freeze dry them, all sorts with that, if that's the sort of thing you want to do. Before I cover the organ meats as well, guys, because they are cheap and they do deliver some sensational vitamins and minerals, and they've been tested in science, and they're really kind of like the superfood of superfoods that isn't really talked about as such. All right, but you don't need to eat organ meats daily, guys, not even at all if you don't want to, but even once, twice, every so often, the micronutrient superpower behind this is phenomenal. All right. Right, so I think that's questions I've covered in this so far. I know one of the people who couldn't make the video has asked a question, and it's going to be one I'm going to enter into the group now. So, guys, we're going to bring this to about basically a 15-20 minutes with some questions. If you have questions about your macros or even meal planning, let's open this up. Does anyone